Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to add another table, and this table is about the department. So let's add the department table to our DB. For this purpose, we go to our database, right click on a tables, new table. The first column is ID, data type int, and I want to make it as a primary key and also set it as a auto increment. In the properties, go to the identity specification. Is identity set it to yes. The next column is dep underline name and varchar 50. Now I want to add a new column to this table, which is needed in the next video. The column is working time, data type, and varchar. Let's save the table, department, and click OK. Now let's add some data to this table. Close, go to the Object Explorer. First, you have to refresh the tables to see your new table. Right click on it, select edit. Department name is, for example, IT. Working hours, for example, from 8 to 18. The next department is, for example, finance. Working time 7 to 17. And as you see here, because I set it as a is identity, the ID is auto incremented. The next department is marketing. Working hours 8 to 18. Let's go back to the Visual Studio and connect this table to one dropdown. Now just copy this and paste it. Let's change the name. So the name is department, and also change the name of this combo box, CMB underline department. Save. So let's connect this combo box to our table. For this purpose, I want to load this combo box in the form load. Then double click on the form. We go to the form load event and write the code using SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection, our class dot connection string, and another parenthesis. Let's open the connection dot open. Again, use the SQL command, cmd equals to new SQL command, select star from department and the connection. And then I need a data table, dt equals to new data table, and I need SQL data adapter, EA equals to new SQL adapter and our command. And the last is we have to fill the data adapter. Okay. And here we have to bind the data table to our combo box. CMB department dot data source equals to data table. And here there is an important things that you have to use it. For combo box, you have two options. One is display member, which is name of the column that you want to show the value of it to the user. And the name is def underline name. And another things is value member, which is ID. So here is column to display to the user, and for this is value of each item. So let's test the project that makes sure there is no error. Run the project, and as you see here, all the departments that we added is here. Okay, let's close it. Now we have to connect the department table to our personal table. Let's go back to the SQL server. We go to the personal info table, design. Now I want to connect these two tables together with a foreign key. If you do not know what is primary key and the foreign key, you can watch my video that I link it in the top of this video. The foreign key is dep underline ID, which is int, and it's okay. Let's go back to the Visual Studio and go to the save. Okay, let's fulfill this new column that added. That is dep underline ID, and here let's sign dep underline ID. Okay, here CMD the parameters that add with value, the new column, and the value. CMB department dot selected value. Let's save. Well, I want to debug the code that makes sure the correct value save into the DB. Run the project. Let's fill it as a James. Email j@yahoo.com. Phone number 0987. Single. He knows just German. Birth date is 1st of January 1990. Employment type as an intern, and he works in an IT department. Let's save. It goes here. And if you put your mouse on the selected value, you can see the value that is passed to the database. Let's continue. And it's done. Okay, let's continue the project. Now the data is saved into the database. Let's refresh it. And as you see here, the department ID is here. Let's change the properties of this data grid view to see the data in this data grid view better. Let's stop it, disable this breakpoint, go back to the design view. So the data grid view has some options. There is a properties that names auto size columns mode, which is none columns header, just you see the full column header, all cells except header, all cells, display cells except header, and display cells. Let's set it on a feed. Run, refresh, and as you see here, you see all the fields. But if you want to see the full data in each columns and rows, you have to change it to the all cells. Let's go to the properties, change this field to all cells. Run, refresh, and here you can see all the text that fill into the each columns. Let's make this data grid view bigger. Just move them to here, and let's change the position of these components. Put it to here, and all of them to here. It looks better, and make this data grid view as a full size. Save, let's run it, refresh, and here with all cells there's a problem that if the data grid view is bigger than the number of your columns, you see here free spaces. For now you have to set it back to the field because data grid view is big enough. Change all cells to the field. Run and refresh. Okay, you see full data and fill these columns to your data grid view. Let's do the same things that we did in the save button for update button. Stop, go to the update button. Dep underline ID equals to @ dep ID. Here cmd dot parameters that add with value at dep ID and cmb dot selected value and semicolon. It's done. I want to change this cell double click of data grid view and add this new column to the code. F4, go to the events, cell double click. First, I put the value of this column to a variable. Let's say it's string. Dep name equals to data grid view dot rows e dot row index dot cells 8 dot value dot to string. I want to teach a new command, which is switch case on dep name. Let's delete this. The item is IT CMB department dot selected index to 0 break. The next case is finance. Let's set it to 1. Again, break. And for the last one is marketing. The index equals to 2. Run and refresh. But here, this one is unknown. And instead of this department ID, I want to show the department name. So let's join these tables together. Stop the project, go to the refresh button, and here is the select. Here type it inner join department on department dot ID equals to personal info dot dep underline ID. Let's test this code and to see the differences between this previous code, which is this one, and with this new code. Run the project, refresh, and as you see here, all the columns is here. But there is a big difference between the previous code and this code. In this code, because of this condition that I set it here, it just shows the rows which has this ID. Let's go to the SQL Server and update this dep ID column to see all the data here. Right click on it, edit, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's go back to the Visual Studio, refresh. So all the columns and all the rows are filled and it's there. I just want to show this department name only. Close it. Here there is a hack and I want to show you. Let's go back to the SQL Server, close this. If you right click on your table, there is a menu here that is script table. You have multiple options. That if you want to know more about these options, please write down in the comments and I will create a separate video for this one. Go to the select, copy, and let's go back to the Visual Studio. And I just want to copy and paste it here because I do not need all of them. I don't want these brackets, just delete them. Then I want to remove this free space between them. So I don't want this department ID. Just delete it. Let's copy all these columns and paste it instead of this star. Let's hit the enter. And here I need this department name from department table. Let's delete this and let's run the project and see the result. Refresh. So here we have an error. That error is ambiguous column name ID. Why? Because in the both tables, we have this ID column name. Let's stop it. Solve this problem. Just add personal info.id. Just add the table name in front of the column. Let's run it again, refresh, and very good. Instead of that ID 123, you see now the department. For example, Ali works in a finance, John works in the IT, and so on. As you remember, I add another column which name is working time. In the next video, I will show you some interesting things about this column and see you in the next video. Thank you guys for watching my video up to the end and I hope you enjoyed.